2024 is when we brought it, May 2024. Well, I asked Teresa for what was the tag, and she just said history. I don't know what that means. It's very broad. So I don't know. And I thought she said that you all were doing it in tandem with her. Right. Somebody narrate. Pam Conley has a good taught her to get a professional voice artist. From the Mass. Okay. I have a choral score of the Mass. Very short. The score. I'll look for it because I don't know if it's published. See if it's still in print. There's a few years ago, they published a choral highlights of the Mass, which I've actually thought about doing, especially in today's climate. But I'll look and see.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. My name is Bill Fiorini, and my pronouns are he and him. I serve as your co-chair of your Board of Trustees. I am a senior white male with graying hair. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt with a nice yellow and blue plaid. Our speakers provide visual descriptions to welcome people with visual impairments and also those listening online. We are excited to be in community with you today. It's going to be a great service. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones and move to the middle of your section if you can, to leave aisle seats open for those with accessibility needs. Thank you. If you are visiting for the first time, stop by the welcome table to pick up a visitor gift with more information about our community. Look for the Getting to Know UU sign in Beach Hall after the service to learn more about our congregation. And everyone is welcome to come chat with me or another board member or one of your friends or one of your friends-to-be after the service. Please scan the QR code or see the Sunday reminder in the email for our order of worship and announcements, including information about summer choir and our upcoming Labor Day retreat and the other events here at First UU. If you didn't receive that reminder, you can take a photo of the posted copies at the entrance to the worship center, or request paper copies at the greeter stand if you need one. Now, please rise in body or in spirit to sing Love Will Guide Us, number 131 in your gray hymnal, verses 1 and 2.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, they. I'm a white femme millennial with wild and wonderful wavy hair. I am wearing a rainbow tie-dye shirt that says queer. Today we gather on the stolen land of the Wyandotte, Miami, Seneca, Erie, Shawnee, Delaware, and Cayuga people, many of whom were forcibly removed. We support the Native American Indian Center of Central Ohio in their Land Back campaign, and we know that we have more to do to be in true relationship and solidarity with this land and those indigenous to it.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Amanda Hayes, and I serve here as your Justice Minister. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a white woman in my mid-30s with short, spiky hair and glasses. Now let us enter into the spirit of worship together. This is the Values Prayer after St. Francis, written by Christopher Buse. May we be instruments of peace. Where there is indifference, may we bring justice. Where there is selfishness, may we bring equity. Where there is stagnation, may we bring transformation. Where there is homogeneity, may we bring pluralism. Where there is isolation, may we bring interdependence. Where there is greed, may we bring generosity. And where there is hatred, may we bring love. May we be instruments of peace with love at the center of everything we do. Amen and blessed be. It is now time for our children to meet Amber Scott in the back to prepare to bring in the light. And everybody else, please turn to your neighbors and introduce yourself. And listen out for the sound of our new bell when it is time to... Our children will now bring in the light. If we have any hope of transforming the world and changing ourselves, we must be bold enough to step into our discomfort, brave enough to be clumsy there, and loving enough to forgive ourselves and others. May we, as people of faith, be granted the strength to be so bold, so brave, and so loving.
Thank you, Juniper, for your help lighting our chalice this morning. Today is an all-ages service, which means everyone is invited to be here the whole time. If kids are feeling wiggly, there are a couple of options for you and your families. There are ideas over in the We Worship area and Sloter Lounge. We also have busy bags out in the gallery. And you're also welcome to take a walk around the building with your adult or to go hang out near the kitchen where there are craft ideas and games available. But today we're doing a special service. We're talking about justice, and then we are going to do a justice project together in Beach Hall where we're filling backpacks with school supplies for children in need. Our story is called Uncle Willie and the Soup Kitchen. Written and illustrated by Diane DeSalvo Ryan. Race you to the corner, I yell when Uncle Willie picks me up from school. While Mom's at work, Uncle Willie keeps an eye on me. While I'm at school, he works at the soup kitchen. We fed a lot of people today, says Uncle Willie. Spaghetti and meatballs. Good thing the bakery gave us extra bread. Why do you work there anyway? I ask. It's important, Uncle Willie tells me. Sometimes people need help. Up the block, I hear the can man's clangety cart piled high with empty cans he's collected. Mom says he cashes them in for money. Today, he's pushing his cart right towards us. Let's go, I whisper, but Uncle Willie doesn't hear me. How's business, Frank? He hollers. One more block and I'm done for the day, the can man hollers back. Uncle Willie picks up an empty can and tosses it in. 2 points, the can man says. Then he hunches over his cart to give it one long push. I hear the rattly wheels clangety bump until they are far away. Since when do you know the can man? I ask Uncle Willie. Since Frank came to eat at the soup kitchen, he says. Why doesn't Frank eat at his house? I ask. Doesn't he have a place to live? Uncle Willie takes my hand and rocks it high and low. I never asked Frank where he lives, says Uncle Willie. At the soup kitchen, you only have to be hungry. When Mom walks me to school the next morning, I feel sad when I see a woman sleeping on a park bench. She looks lonely. Mom says there's lots of lonely people these days. That's why I'm proud of Uncle Willie. He's doing something to help. I wonder what it's like to work at a soup kitchen. I mean, Uncle Willie goes there almost every day, and I've never gone once. Why don't you ask Uncle Willie to take you on Monday, says Mom. You have the day off from school. All set, asks Uncle Willie, bright and early Monday morning. All set, I say. I check my pocket and pull out my telescope. Uncle Willie grabs his cap and stuffs his pockets with bread. Mom kisses me goodbye and tells us both to keep out of trouble. The soup kitchen isn't too far from where I live, but it feels like a very long way. We pass my school, the supermarket, the drugstore, the bakery, and the laundromat. When we get to the meat market, I'm dragging my feet. Let's see if Mr. Anthony has anything for us today, says Uncle Willie. The door has a little bell on top that rings when we open it. Have I got something special for you? Mr. Anthony hands us each a lumpy brown bag. Chicken for the soup, he tells us. Food for a feast, says Uncle Willie. The bell rings again as the door closes, and I wave goodbye through the big front window. When we turn the corner, Uncle Willie points to a small brick building. It looks old. Here we are, he says. A woman opens the big white door. Good morning, Shanta, says Uncle Willie. Good morning, says Shanta, smiling. You brought a helper today. I shake her hand and follow Uncle Willie inside. The soup kitchen is small and bright. 4 huge steaming soup pots make the whole place smell delicious. There are posters that say, "Have a nice day," and "No smoking, please." Look, I say, lunchroom tables, just like at my school. But what's the high chair for? Little children come here too. Let me introduce you, says Uncle Willie. First, I meet a cat. This is Underfoot. He works the night shift down in the basement. Over there is Brother Mike. Brother Mike opens our lumpy bags. Chickens, that's great, thanks for picking them up. A man at the double sink is washing a big silver bowl. This is George. If it wasn't for George, we'd all be in hot water. Uncle Willie puts an apron on and helps me tie one too. Let's get to work. I watch Uncle Willie cut celery, tomatoes, potatoes, parsley, onions, and string beans and toss them in each pot. He smiles and jiggles a carrot at me. Perfect. Will you help me sort the fruits and vegetables? Shanta asks. The market gave us so much fruit that we can make a salad today. I separate the fruit and put it in the sink to wash. While Shanta slices, I mix the cut fruit in a big silver bowl with a long wooden spoon. Everything comes extra big around here. George walks over from the sink and opens a really big can of peanuts. So I put 1 big bowl of peanuts, 1 big plate of sliced cheese, 1 big dish of butter, and 2 big baskets of bread on every table. I'm hungry, I say when Brother Mike gives each pot just 1 more stir. Break time, he says. Help yourself to a bowl of soup. Sit down already, Uncle Willie tells me, and make yourself uncomfortable. I pour a little bit of my soup into a cup for Underfoot. Chicken and vegetable soup, my favorite. I look around at all the empty chairs. What if there's not enough soup? Uncle Willie waves his hands. It's just like magic. There's always a little bit more. He pulls something out of his pocket. This clicker will count how many people come today, and that way we can make enough food for tomorrow. When I'm finished eating, I peek outside and see a long line of people at the door. I used to be out there waiting, said George, but now I'm in here helping. I stare out the window and reach for Uncle Willie. Are all those people homeless? I whisper. Is George homeless too? Uncle Willie leans closer. George rents a room nearby. Some people have no place to live, but either way, if they're here, they're hungry, and we're here to fill up their bowls. Brother Mike ladles steaming soup into the bowls and places 1 on every tray. Shanta dishes out fruit cups and puts them next to the bowls. When the first trays are ready with soup and fruit, Uncle Willie yells, "Lunchtime!" The door swings open and the first few people rush in. The soup is nice and hot, right from the pot, hollers Uncle Willie. He says hello to just about everybody. There are so many people that I can't see inside anymore. Some guests try to shake my hand, but I stand stiffly by the door. He's got a day off from school, so he came to see where I work, announces Uncle Willie, keeping his hand on my shoulder. There's Frank, the can man, I whisper. Hi, Frank, says Uncle Willie, showing him the boxes of fruit and vegetables. Help yourself, we have extra today. In no time, the soup kitchen is full. Shanta fills up fruit cups 1 after the other, while Brother Mike fills soup bowls. All of a sudden, it sounds like everyone is talking at once. People come up to the counter and say, "This soup is great, can I have seconds? You gave her more chicken than you gave me. I was in line first. Our table needs more bread, please. We want more butter. More cheese, please." I watch the guests go in and out, first hungry, then full. Come on in, calls Uncle Willie. George walks back and forth, taking dirty dishes to the sink, and I hear all the soup spoons going clink, clink. A woman shuffles by and stuffs her pocket with bananas. She looks like the woman I saw on the park bench. I hope so. I hope she comes to eat at the soup kitchen. It's not so lonely here. Before I know it, the line outside is gone, and so is all the fruit salad. A few guests stay to help us clean up. I hold the dustpan steady while Jim sweeps a pile for me to scoop. When Uncle Willie and I are ready to leave, we shake hands with all the helpers. Brother Mike pushes open the big front door. Come again anytime, he says. We can always use extra help. Thanks again for the soup, I holler back. Underfoot liked it too. On the way home, Uncle Willie shows me his counter. We fed 121 people today, he tells me. That's a lot of citizens. I pull out my telescope and eyeball Uncle Willie, who looks like one big smile. The end. Every day, soup kitchens, food banks, and programs like Feed and Read Ohio work to reach those who are hungry. Even people with jobs or places to live may need help meeting their basic needs. Providing direct service also creates opportunities to connect with our larger community. But food isn't the only thing people may need. Later today, we will each have the opportunity to help put school supplies and backpacks together for local kids who need them. Now remain seated with hands over your hearts as we sing Building Bridges, number 1023 in the Teal hymnal, to sing our beloved children back to their families and to their seats. We will sing it twice through.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
During the months of July and August, our offering plate will benefit Deaf World Against Violence Everywhere, or D-Wave. D-Wave's mission is to promote the empowerment of and equality for Ohio's diverse deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing communities by offering culturally affirmative advocacy and education while inspiring community accountability in response to oppression and relationship and sexual violence. D-Wave is a deaf-run agency that has been providing direct advocacy service for 20 years to the deaf, deafblind, deaf-disabled, and hard-of-hearing communities. In addition to passing the basket, you can text to give, scan the QR code, or visit firstuucolumbus.org/donate. Thank you for your generosity.
Today's pastoral listener is Sharon Hammersley. If you have something on your mind or heart today, she will be in Beach Hall after the service and will be happy to listen. There are also 3 caring cards for us to sign in Beach Hall after worship. We have some joys and sorrows from our community to share this morning. First, we join very happily in wishing Linda Smith, who is turning 80 years old today, a very happy birthday. And we send our care and support to Mary Lou McDonald, who had a total right shoulder replacement on Tuesday, July 29th. We wish her a speedy and thorough recovery. And our deepest sympathy and care are sent to Thomas Purley, who had a tragic accident. While crossing the street, he was hit by a car, which resulted in a spinal cord injury and paralyzed legs. He was hospitalized in Columbus for 3 months and now has moved to Portland, Maine to live in a skilled nursing home near where his mother lives. While at this church, Thomas frequently reported on the need for attention to individuals or community situations to the Joys and Sorrows Network. We are terribly sorry for this development in his life, and we will miss him. Thomas says, "I will miss my church, but may reconnect online. My new home seems good." And one of the cards at the caring table is for Thomas, so please do stop by and sign it in Beach Hall after the service. Please now join me in a moment of meditation on School Supplies by Vanessa Rush Southern. The school supply section of any store draws me like a moth to a flame. I no longer need spiral-bound notebooks or the number 2 pencils or a lunch pail. I'm not sure why I'm drawn to these things, since my most recent academic endeavor is years in the past already. But I have a theory. For so many years, standing in those aisles, I could believe that my past did not determine my present. For so many years, the present was full of possibility. Entire worlds of knowledge and adolescent adventure, growth, and change were possible in the year I was preparing for. Would I finally master Spanish, learn I was a whiz at physics, fall in love with Dante, the one who wrote Long Ago, or the one sitting next to me in class? Perhaps I would come into my own that year, like some rare flower too long in the bud. At the beginning of the school year, everything seemed possible. Now that I am older, there is the danger of losing that sense of possibility, of thinking myself an old dog whose tricks might be modified around the edges, but never really significantly changed. There is danger that you and I start to think that it is practical to live into our limitations rather than press up against them. That we confuse resignation with maturity. That we give over wild rides of the mind or spirit to only the young. But it is never advisable to hang up the knapsack of adventurous, expectant living for long. Maybe this is why I like school supplies. Here is this world that says, in colors and crisp white paper, that all is new and all things are possible again. Postscript. A woman was seen at Staples last week. Her eyes settled on a marbled blue fountain pen. When asked why she bought it, the woman told the clerk she needed a river of ink to ride into the new year. He said he didn't quite understand what she meant, but he'd seen this behavior in this season, in these aisles, before. Now I will ring our temple bell, and we will have a moment of silence together. Now my honor to introduce someone you probably all know well, Jacques Angelino, a member of our church and the founder of Feed and Read Ohio, which has organized the backpack drive for today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Buongiorno. Bonjour. My name is Jacques Angelino, and this is my 9th year with my 501c3 nonprofit, but I've been here since 2001, working with my mom, helping feed people, and then for 20 years I went down to Athens County every Monday and helped in the food pantry in Western Athens County. And when the pantry closed, I started helping out in Columbus. And with all of you wonderful people giving me wonderful support, it has made it a wonderful journey for me, for our church, and for the people that we help. I first want to thank Reverend Teresa for dropping off the school supplies before she had her surgery and all the support that she has been giving me since she started here. And then last year, Amber knocked it out of the park with the reason this is the second annual is we had a first annual. And now we have Reverend Amanda knocking it out of the park today. And if you missed last year and you missed this year, Reverend Teresa is going to be here next year taking roll. Okay, so you better make it next year. So anyway, it's a wonderful thing if you can get an education, because we all know that's one of the best ways to get out of poverty. And all the people I work with are in poverty. And if they don't have money for food, tell me what they have money for. So they don't have money for backpacks and school supplies. And last year, we were going to do 50 backpacks full of school supplies. And we did 59. So this year, we've got a challenge because my counter, Claudia, just told me we have 108 backpacks over there. And after the service, we're going to go over there and fill them. And I talked to the union rep to see if I could get piecework for you, but he said, not with the new president we have. So anyway, you don't get paid in money, but you get paid in love and joy and knowing that the kids that are getting them are going to have a better life because now they're prepared to go to school. I've got a few names here of some kids, and I wanted to tell you some of the achievements they've made. Yami, which is Jami, she's half Mexican, half Salvadorian, came up to me last year and big smile on her face and said, I got second place in the science fair. She wants to be a veterinarian. Merari, who is Salvadorian, she told me last week that she is going to be an RN. And Lord knows we need a few more bilingual RNs. We need a few more RNs, period. Pamela, who just graduated from high school and she's starting at Columbus State, is going to be a nurse practitioner. She's an all A's and B's student. Single mother who cuts hair, cuts both of mine. And, anyway, so it's not much of a challenge for her. But tell you a quick story. I was giving out produce, and I always want the people to know what I'm giving out. So I was giving out nectarines, and you know what? They go, oh, duraznos, or melocotone, which is peach. And I said, no, nectarina. And they said, no, duraznos. So I took off my hat and I said, no pillow, no pillow. No hair, no hair. And so they understood. They go, oh, and then of course they started laughing, but at least they knew they were eating nectarinas and not peaches. But anyway, Angelica is serving over in Bahrain. She's Mexican. Her dad does yard work. She's the one that I sent to Columbus State for a year. She wants to be a lawyer and help the poor with immigration. And she's in the military police, and one of her best friends wanted to go to jump school, so she went to jump school. Real bright. She's the only one I know of the people I help that can read and write Spanish fluently as well as English. Wendy's an honor student. Her family's from El Salvador. She's got cute little sisters. And one of them's going to be going to school next year for the first time. And her dad's a mechanic, and she wants to be a mechanic, and she's an honor student. And I thought, well, okay, what advice can I give her? So I said, work on Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and a few other things that's like $4,000 an hour for a mechanic, you know. So anyway, and then we have Rosemary. Rosemary is from Guatemala. She's a senior this coming year. Her mother and her two brothers and her and father live in the basement of a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And her aunt and her husband and daughter and 2 daughters live upstairs. And I've been in that house, you could eat off the kitchen floor. And so anyway, she wants to be a lawyer, abogado, and help poor people with their immigration. So we're not working with any slouches here, working with some pretty darn sharp kids, and how they do it, I do not know. And then many of you have seen the picture next to my table in Fellowship Hall. Emily did that. Emily did that when she was 13, started teaching herself art when she was 10. She's a straight-A student. She runs track in the relays, so she must be pretty fast. She's a size 1 skinny jean, so she's not real big. And she swims on the swimming team, she's on the track team, she's on the wrestling team, and sometimes has to wrestle guys. And what else? The swimming, track, wrestling, I don't know. She's just sitting around doing nothing all day, you know, and makes straight A's, and is a self-taught artist. And if you heard her sing, you'd cry. Makes Selena look bad. She is so talented. So I asked her mom what she's doing, and she goes, she's writing about her life. And she goes, I think it's a biography. And I said, it's an autobiography, and she's 15. But she's got all these accomplishments. These are the people we're helping. So when I give out a backpack to somebody that got one last year, they go, oh, that's nice, I got a new backpack, and they're happy. But for the kids that this is the first time they get a backpack, when they go to kindergarten, believe that, we don't even have any toys, much less backpacks. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, the kids get the backpack for the first time, and this is the greatest feeling I get is when I give it to them. Because you see them, they get the backpack. This is an empty backpack. You see them, and they're glad, they're happy, muy feliz, that they got a brand new backpack. They got something that's new, that's theirs. And then you see them, they're starting to do this. And they're starting to realize that the backpack's got stuff in it. So they open it up and they zip it open, and there's the crayons and the colored pencils, and they start jumping up and down and screaming, and they're so happy. This is like Christmas in August, because this is nothing they even had an idea that was possible for them. But you make it possible for them, and I thank you. So when you come next door, we got 108 of these empty ones, and we know that you're going to turn them into 108 full ones, so we can give out the backpacks to the kids so they can have a successful year at school. And only thing else I got to say is thank you very much for all of your support.
please rise in body or spirit again and join in singing 1014, which is in the Teal hymnal, Answering the Call of Love, verses 1 and 3.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. And so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
As Jacques mentioned, after the service today, we're going to be working together in Beach Hall to fill 108 backpacks with school supplies, which will then be passed out to local kids who need them. Any extra supplies will be donated to North Linden Elementary School. We now have the opportunity to extend our love and care to those children and teens by writing notes of support and encouragement, or even drawing a picture to be included in their backpacks. You may have gotten some markers and paper when you came in. If you did not, that's cool. There's still plenty available back by the ushers at the door. If you're attending online, you can also type any words of support into the chat, and someone on site will write it down on a piece of paper to be included. A couple examples of short messages are things like, "Have a great school year," or "You are loved." Or if you know Spanish, maybe you could write a note in Spanish. You could draw something happy and loving instead of writing a note, like a heart, a rainbow, or a smile. And then hold on to your finished notes of support, and we'll take those out to Beach Hall after the service to put in the backpacks. Let's get started.
As we finish up writing and drawing our notes, please remain seated and join me in singing From You I Receive, number 402 in your gray hymnal. Together we'll sing it twice through.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Such simple words, but they are so true. As human beings, we evolved to live interdependently with one another and the world around us. None of us can make it on our own. The only way we thrive is through giving and receiving. As Unitarian Universalists, one of our shared values is generosity. It's simple, and yet this is the value that I personally find most challenging. The full text in Article 2 of our Unitarian Universalist Association bylaws about generosity reads, "We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of independence and mutuality." What would it mean to truly share our faith, presence, and resources freely? We know that despite the idea of the American dream and equality of opportunity, as Jacques shared with us, the schools with the greatest needs in our country and city are almost always also those with the least funds. Often, students in the poorest zip codes end up trying to learn without the basics that many of their peers take for granted, like enough food to eat, like a pencil to do their homework with. This is a systemic problem that demands a systemic change, and our value of generosity also calls us to respond before systemic change takes place. Our interdependence means that the suffering of any in our world harms us all, and the well-being of each person in our world helps us all. Simply having a pencil and other basic supplies makes such a huge difference, as Jacques shared, for students being able to learn in school. I'm so grateful to Jacques for all his work to bring about this 22nd annual backpack drive. I hope you will practice generosity with Jacques and Amber and myself this Sunday by helping to put the over 100 backpacks together in Beach Hall. And I hope you'll practice generosity in the Sundays to come by filling a Feed and Read Ohio bag each month and volunteering with Jacques to help sort and distribute all of the food. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. May the backpacks we fill with supplies and notes remind the children and youth who receive them that they are loved and needed. Please rise now in body or spirit to sing When the Spirit Says Do, number 1024 in your teal hymnal, and we'll sing just the first verse.
Got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord, you gotta do when the Spirit says do. Spirit says do, Spirit says do. Spirit says do, Spirit says do, Spirit says do, Spirit says do, Spirit says do.
And one final note, if you didn't already know, you may be seated. Jacques does accept helpers to ride along with him when he goes and sees the families he's serving. So if you're interested in seeing some of the direct impact of Jacques' work, you should talk to him about riding along. I know a lot of people have taken him up on this and have felt changed by seeing the work in action. In the Soup by Robert Walsh. My dictionary says the word minister is etymologically related to the word minestrone. I am not making this up. They are both derived from a Latin root that means to serve. The image of ministry as minestrone is particularly apt for the ministry church people do all together that makes us a ministering congregation. Each bean, each vegetable, each unit of macaroni or pinch of spice gives not only its substance to the soup, but also its spirit, its texture and color, its flavor and aroma. Each person offers a unique set of gifts, and if we do our job of organizing well, each gift will be creatively matched with a need so that the whole becomes a warm, nourishing, life-giving religious community. All who serve the church and the principles and values we hold dear are ministers. If you are doing part of that work, you are doing ministry, no matter how unlikely it may seem. You are in the soup, the minestrone of ministry. Next, everyone is invited to take action, joining us in Beach Hall to fill all the backpacks with school supplies. Bring your notes and drawings with you to include one in each backpack. But first, let's extinguish our chalice together with the words from our vision statement. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love.
Let all our hearts open wide, feeling the Spirit deep inside. And from within, shine your light, bright as the day through the darkest night. Soft as the moon, strong as the sun, love and light dances